gosh, I'm such a John Mayer fan. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. I love you, John. I love you. Put that in the interview. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, SiR. I'm on set with GAFFER for the 100, powered by comedic. If I wasn't a musician, I would probably be a personal trainer. That was my career before I got into music. I enjoy helping people out on their fitness journeys because I've been up, and down in my own, and I know so many different ways to, get money that I help anybody that asks for it out. You know what I mean? And I think it would be a fun job to have. I'd be a great personal trainer. The best stage I've ever performed on was the South Korean Olympic Stadium, opening up for Kendrick Lamar on the Damn Tour. My pre-show rituals are they're pretty simple. I typically just do like push-ups, tea, vocal warm-ups. I try not to eat too much before I go on stage because then I'll have the burps or I'll I don't want to go on stage with my stomach bubbling. Yeah, I keep it really simple. And prayer. Prayer is very important before we go and perform in front of anybody. My fans know everything about me. I'm an open book. One thing I wish my fans knew about me is I'm funnier than I put on. My dream collaboration has always been and still will always be Missy Elliott. I find creative inspiration through living life. A lot of the songs that I write are very personal to me, and I can only have written them through my own personal experiences, so that's how I shape my creativity. I base it off of the book that I'm looking at, you know what I mean? The life that I'm living. The proudest moment of my career was coming home on this last run to my daughter, who was just so happy to see me. It was the longest trip I'd taken away from home since she was born. She's 3 now. Just walking into the door to her screaming and just so happy, you know what I mean? And it just was a good feeling. It makes me want to stay home. One thing I would love to achieve that I haven't achieved yet, probably win a Grammy. I mean, that's a big one for a musician. Shoot, go platinum would be nice. Platinum plaque. One piece of advice that I would tell my younger self is just stay calm. It's gonna be okay. When I first got into the industry, I did a lot of looking up and trying to look for my heroes to save me. But nowadays, I'm more so looking forward. You know what I mean? I'm looking at my own life and my own situations and trying to grow from that. You know what I mean? I'm not learning from people anymore like that, I'm learning, but just not from people. If I could invite any 3 people, dead or alive, to a dinner party, dang. I don't want to say something so basic like Nelson Mandela. There'll be a ragtag bunch of motherfuckers. I'd probably invite like Chuck Norris, Dennis Rodman, Ron Artest, and just see what happens. I don't know. That's a tricky question. The microphone. If I could have invented the microphone, that'd be pretty cool. Basketball. Basketball. Pull-up bar. It's kind of hard to do that, to say one album is your favorite. Songs in the Key of Life is up there. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is up there. Commons B is up there for me, for sure, for how I was raised and the era of music that I listened to and grew up listening to. Dang. There's a couple Kanye albums on there. Graduation's definitely on there for me. There's a few, man. I'm like a music nut, so you can't just tell me one different thing. Songs, Off the Wall is on there. There's so many good albums out there. My favorite album of all time, put a gun to my head, I'm blowing it. It'd probably have to be The Last Day in Auckland, opening up for SZA. SZA's fan base is just top tier. Yeah, and Auckland is a special place, so just the combination of those 2 things is just mind-blowing. John Mayer at the Forum. It was a good one. Oh my gosh, I'm such a John Mayer fan. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. I love you, John. I love you. Put that in the interview. My favorite meal, if I could have it and not feel guilty about it, would be like some blueberry pancakes, breakfast for sure. And I make an omelet with caramelized onions, bacon, avocado, and like whatever hot sauce you prefer, salsa, you know what I mean? And that with blueberry pancakes. But all homemade though. For a long time, it was Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. Right now, it's Too Easy by Tizo Touchdown. Dang. Another thing you can't just do to me is put one film out there to say that's my favorite film of all time. Let's say that I like Quentin Tarantino's style of film. He's my favorite filmmaker of all time. In his genre of filmmaking, I'd say Reservoir Dogs is my favorite film from Quentin Tarantino. Also, I mean, Pulp Fiction's great, but I think the Kill Bill series that's the best series of movies ever. So that's just my take. So maybe Kill Bill. Maybe Kill Bill Volume 2 is the best. Basketball. Man, my favorite place is home. I've been a lot of different places, but I mean, LA is just something about it. Yeah, nothing like LA. Basketball. Me and my family all like do music. So like my mom sings, my grandma, everybody. So like on holidays, Thanksgiving mainly, we all get together and somebody sits at the piano and starts to play and we all sing. So that's probably my favorite, you know. And it's been a few years since we've actually like gotten together as a family. So, you know, I miss it for sure. Just you asking me that question made me think about it and now I'm sad. All work, no play. It's called block puzzles. I don't know. How do I tell? How do I know that? Is this based on my opinion or like actual fame? The most popular person in my phone's probably Dot. Yeah, but I don't even know if I got the right number anymore. It's called Arrow Through Me by Wings. You know Wings? Wings is the band that Paul McCartney started after he left the Beatles in the 80s. And it's a beautiful song. Ooh, baby, wouldn't have done the worst thing to me if you'd have taken an arrow and run it right through me. It's a beautiful song. And Paul McCartney gets to sing, which is really cool, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Wings. I don't think there were any differences because I was getting high on every album, you know what I mean? This last one, I think the finishing of it was the taller task. I'd already like created through all of the bullshit, you know what I mean? Most of the songs were made while I was trying to recover already. So my process didn't really change until now. I'll be able to answer that question better after this next album. I was high out of my mind one day and I wanted my family to know, but I didn't know how to tell them. So the words started to pour out of me. I wrote that song in tears. And I didn't record it right away either. I had a session in New York with J. Cole, and we were at a studio called Electric Lady. And he left me to like work by myself for a couple of hours, and I recorded that song in that time. Yeah, it was a brutal experience, but most songs that are that personal, I mean, they're that personal so that they can reach so many other people. So I definitely feel good about like saying what I said, you know. When I was a kid, my mom used to sit us around the piano and hit like a note and say, this is C. If you're hitting C, this is how it should sound. If you're a little bit above it, then you're sharp. If you're a little bit below it, then you're flat. So let's all hit C. And we'd all have to go, and hit the note or whatever. The simple answer to your question is everything. My mother taught me everything I know about music. She's been the minister of music at our church for 35 years, going on 36, probably 37 years. And she's just a pianist, a singer, a gospel artist, a writer. And I just got to see her in so many different, you know, facets of music growing up that I kind of took everything with a grain of salt, but pulled, you know, for my things for myself. And I also have older brothers who were into music, so I learned a lot from them. But my mother she is the forefront of all of our talent. No, yeah, we definitely do. I mean, we be sick. I don't know. I'm the youngest, so I be off them sometimes. My brothers, they send me music all the time, and I need to be better at responding. I think over the last like few years, I kind of been like, okay, just it's another song, but I'm their support just like they're mine. Because when I have a new song, I send it to them immediately, like, hey, check this out, it's tight, huh? And they respond respectfully. But no, I'm not saying I'm disrespectful or anything like that. I just feel like when you asked me that, it made me think of the last 3 songs they sent me, you know? And yes, I have advice and notes, but for the most part, we all like what each other does. So, you know, it's not, you know, nothing new. It's just like, this shit's hard. But that's all I got for you. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, so, so no, lately I haven't had anything to say. I haven't had any notes for them. They've just been sending me good music. So I've had multiple Stevie Wonder experiences. One time I didn't learn much of nothing. He kind of like fell asleep when he pulled up. It was an interesting night. Another time I just learned like how gifted he was in any setting. He came to the studio just to, you know, put some backgrounds or help somebody with something, and somebody pulled out a lap steel and set it on his lap, and he just went through the whole Songs in the Key of Life, basically, the whole album on the lap steel. So he literally played every freaking song off of his album, and that just showed me that, you know, there are levels to like creation and creativity, and he was sitting at the top and has been since he was a child, you know. And then he came to my mom's birthday, and that just showed me the piece of humanity that I would love to see from any artist, you know what I mean? My brother invited him. He came and he sat and he sang to my mother on her 60th birthday. Yeah, crazy, right? So as far as Stevie Wonder's concerned, I hold him in such high regard that, you know, there's so much I can still learn from just listening to his music and trying to pay more attention to how he executed things, you know. But he's one of one, to say the least. That's a good question. Me and Anderson are just cool. I'm a fan of his, and he knows that. You know, and I think that feeling is mutual, where he loves what I do just as much as I love what he does. And any opportunity we have to help each other build and grow, we take, you know. I didn't even find out that we had another song coming out until the K-Tronada project started to drop. Yeah, so that was a cool surprise. But Anderson just knows that I have nothing but love and respect for him. I love good music, and that's why we love each other and we respect what each other does, because we both have such a high respect for the music industry and what we put into it. I mean, TDE, I was a Black Hippie fan before I actually got signed to TDE. Huge Ab-Soul fan. You know, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. Outkast definitely influenced a lot of what I do. Missy Elliott, Timbaland definitely influenced a lot of what I do. And then you got everything R&B, man. You got artists like Brandy Norwood. When people sleep on Brandy, I love you. Usher, I'm a huge Usher kid. Grew up listening to 8701, you know what I mean? I'm a huge Busta Rhymes fan. I like to think that I take a lot of like, what I love from rap and put it into my R&B, you know? And those artists like Jay-Z and like Busta Rhymes and even the Kendricks and the Coles like influence how I like my cadences and things like that. But for the most part, I'd say I'm just a child like Outkast, Missy Elliott, you know, anything. I'm a child of the 99, 2000, so anything in that era, you got me. Oh man, it's everything. First of all, we don't dance, we boogie. You know what I mean? And that kind of applies to how I make my music. You know, I don't want to be pop. There's always got to be an element of, I don't know how to say it without saying the word. There's got to be some niggerish elements to it. There has to be something that represents me in how I swing my words or my, you know, and that just comes from the lingo of just being in LA and knowing, you know what I mean? Like certain words or certain phrases mean certain things, and how you say things is very important, you know? And it controls how I think. LA controls how I think, therefore it controls what I create, you know? I live. I actually like it. I haven't written a song in like 6 months. I haven't been doing no creating, but it feels good. I'm living, man. I think a lot of artists put too much pressure on themselves to be year-round when that's not the goal, you know what I mean? You'll burn yourself out like that. My goal is longevity, so I don't put pressure on a time constraint, you know? My albums come out when they're supposed to. If it takes 5 years, it takes 5 years. I'm not forcing it. I can't, you know what I mean? Especially the way we create and what we want to give our fans. We don't want to give you fly-by-night music. I don't want to give you something that you're going to play 10 times and get sick of. Every time you play it, I want you to feel something, you know what I mean? So I try to like make sure I take my time with everything I do, and that helps me to put the best music out. Me and Etta met a long time ago through when it was just her and Rap Riley putting music out. This is before I was signed to TDE. It was a long, long time ago. We were just fans of each other's music, kept in contact. She flew to LA right after I got signed to TDE. Nobody really knew I was signed or anything like that, and we worked on a song, Something New, which is the first release that we put out, which me and Etta have some new music coming out too soon, I believe. Yeah, that song, it was a feature at a time where I didn't have friends, where I didn't have artists to go to, and she really like came in and blessed me. So I hold her in such a high regard, you know what I mean? That's a relationship that's gonna last, it's gonna stand the test of time. I really gotta call her. I really gotta call Etta. Oh, that Scribs, now that just happened through like studio work, but me and him, thick as Steve, he's a good dude, you know what I mean? And such a talent, man. He produced the track, by the way. I don't know if people know that he made the beat that we're on, the song we're on. So he produced it, he's got a verse on it, you know what I mean? Like, he's so melodic and just so talented. And I think that's my thing, like, the artists that I work with are always artists that I enjoy listening to or I'm a fan of. You're not just gonna get me on a song because there's a check. I don't think I've ever charged anybody for a verse. That's not my thing. I'll always work with somebody that I want to work with and work with people that I like working with. Heavy, for sure, for sure. I had to do a lot of recuts on Heavy, so like some of these songs, they were already recorded and stuff like that, but I had to go back in and re-record it. Like the Heavy, the title track, I had to re-record that, sucked. 6 Whole Days, I had to re-record that sucked. The reason it was so hard compared to all the other albums was because of the message, you know what I mean? This was stuff that I had lived and was trying to, you know, get over, and I was just, felt like a repetitive thing. And then imagine like the mixing process, mixing these records down and having to hear the same thing over and over. And now I'm about to go on tour and sing it. So, you know, I definitely want to get on the other side of this album. I wish I could take my family on the road with me. And this is such a weird like juxtaposition, but I like my independence on the road. No, I like, yeah, no, those are my answers, really. Like, I definitely love my independence on the road. I love that because at home I get taken care of, I get catered to, you know? So when I'm on the road, I kind of have to take care of myself, and figuring that out is fun. You know what I mean? The day-to-day to like, what am I gonna eat? When am I gonna lay down? When, you know what I mean? Is it time for me to shower? How many days has it been? You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the independent factor of being on the road makes me like a better person at home. When I come home, the first like 6 weeks, I'm like taking care of things gung-ho, and then I just start falling into the trap. My wife starts taking care of everything. But yeah, I definitely miss my family so much that having them on the road would be an easy fix. And then I get taken care of on the road, it's a no-brainer. I love Tizo. Tizo for president. Because there's no rhyme or reason, there's no order, there's no beginning, there's no end. It happens organically, I can tell you that. At this point, if I'm sitting down to write, if I'm putting words to paper, the song's already written, pretty much. You know, I don't waste time. I don't, you know, like just go to sessions and sit around in the studio and hang out anymore, no. I need to have fuel before I go to start writing fire, you know what I mean? So I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and then I write. That's pretty much it. That's all I can really tell you, because if I tried to break down every which way it comes out. Patience. There's so much, there's always room for patience. I have a 3-year-old. So, you know, just there's certain lessons she doesn't get, certain things she doesn't get yet. You know what I mean? It's just certain, you know, like levels of like understanding that we are just not there yet. And it's teaching me a lot about patience and how it can save everybody's life if I'll just be a little more patient. You know what I mean? For everybody. Concerts, karaoke, keep it casual. Night in. Depends. Is there a middle ground? Films. Nah, dang it. Intimate gathering. Go to the game. Play sports. Damn! Lost? Oh man. I would have to say lost in space. Because at least I would just, there's no gravity and I would just be floating around. If I'm lost at sea, I'm gonna drown eventually. I don't wanna drown. I have a big fear of water. Early bird. Oh, actually, I'm both. I sleep very little. Video games. Driver. City boy, I'm city boy. Dogs. Calling. What is the first thing you would do if we go into an all-out world war? Damn, who the fuck wrote this? Go to the home base. Me and my family have a plan. So, meet up at location number 1. Damn, that sucked. My sister eta. Hello, baby, how you been? What's up, y'all? It's SiR. Don't tell the gaffer I'm here.